What's happening, folks? So, if you're like me, you probably got on a TikTok like yesterday and went, what the hell's going on with Cuba? So I did my own digging to kind of figure out what might be going on. But let's start by turning back the clock a little bit. How did all this kind of come to a head like it did? To do that, you kind of have to turn the clock back to Fidel Castro. This guy here became the leader of Cuba in 1959. The guy had some pretty crazy ideologies going on. Basically, to put the long story short, Fidel Castro was a Marxist-Leninist. And I don't mean John Lennon. I mean Vladimir Lenin. He was a Russian politician. Essentially, Fidel Castro basically believed that capitalism was the same as feudalism. If you're not aware of what feudalism is, think back to the Middle Ages. And basically, you had the lower class that took all the shit, did all the shit, but never got anything more for it but, big. And believed that we needed to convert capitalism into socialism. As a matter of fact, Fidel Castro believed and said that Jesus chose fishermen because he was communist. That is the kind of ideology that they're still kind of carrying into today. The office was held by Castro until 2018. This douche canoe was elected, chosen, to be Cuba's leader in 2019. You certainly didn't take your time fucking shit up, did ya? Because of their communist state, a lot of things are regulated, and there's a lot of things that the Cuban people do not have access to. The current douche canoe in charge also blames the United States for influencing and manipulating his people into protesting. Because, no food and stuff like that. That's all our fault, guys. Unfortunately, even though that is the norm and we're kind of tired of it, we kind of do have a little... What are you blaming this one? Turns out we've been really tightening up the sanctions, especially so under President Trump. Granted, they do live in a communist state, but we have still tightened sanctions. And by we, I mean El Douchebag in charge. Is anyone else noticing a common theme here? We always seem to be run by idiots. Anyway, so enough about that, right? What about the current situation? Current rumors flying around is that the internet blackout is intentional. And while a lot of experts are saying it does look intentional, they're not willing to actually throw their data out there with their consensus just yet. They want to take their time and investigate this one. Because Cuba actually does get really, really, really crappy internet. Thus far, there has been one person who has died in the protests and over 100 arrested. These people are facing shortages of every single kind, and we are literally right across the water, and we're just sitting there, watching. We could spend about 20 years in the Middle East, though.